morning, everybody. I think it's a little after 10 o'clock in the morning and we are heading down on the Cranberry Marsh. It's windy. I hope you guys can hear. I'm always trying to figure out a way to cut the wind. So if you do have suggestions for me, you'll have to go over to the community tab and maybe someone knows some great way to cut the wind on a camera. So it's Monday and we're still doing early harvest, which means, hi Joe, that we're doing our early varieties. I've had a lot of questions and I think I may have answered this in or addressed this. Cranberries, there's all different varieties. There's high reds and there are Stevens and Lemunions and Searles and McFarlands and Crimson Queens and Sundance. There's just so many different varieties, and most of them, the reason that a cranberry farmer would choose one variety over the other is really how quickly it colors up and how well it kind of responds to their soil type. Like a cranberry farmer that has a very large marsh, you know, a whole lot of acreage, and they have all exactly the same variety, you run the risk of them all being ready to harvest at the same time, and if it takes you a number of weeks to harvest, by the end some of that fruit might be what the industry would consider overripe. And overripe fruit doesn't work the greatest for dried cranberries. Works fabulous for juice and sauce, not so fabulous for dried cranberries. Dried cranberries have to be harvested in a real particular, a real specific window of time. And so that's why we have these different varieties, because we can pick them at their like peak ripeness. That's why I call these the early varieties, because, or our early harvest, because we are harvesting our early varieties. This is what the cranberry bed looks like when it's all flooded up. So normally, let's go over here, this would be a cranberry bed that has not been harvested yet and it is not flooded. So you can see the ditch has some water in it, and that is because we're holding water high on the next bed over. Normally it wouldn't even have that much water in it like throughout the summer. But if you look carefully, maybe I can zoom in for you, and you can see all of the red berries in there. I should be on the other side. I think we'd get better lighting if the sun was at the other angle, but through the camera I can see cranberries. I hope you can too. This is what it looks like when the cranberry bed is all flooded. They've been pulling fruit out of this bed now for about an hour and a half, and there's the boom of fruit down there. That's exciting. I'll show you a closer picture. But as we walk down, I want to just share with you all that there are so many critters in the wild. I mean, you guys all know that. And one of the critters that really can pose a problem are beavers around here. Warren has been battling it out with a beaver that has been chewing sticks and then bringing the sticks to one of his bulkheads. And what they do, so since Warren's trying to pull water through that area, well, the beaver, they want the water higher, and so they have been jamming sticks. Well, he believes it's only one beaver. It's been jamming sticks into his bulkhead, and now last night it actually started like just weaving them. I mean, it just jams the sticks in there.
Do your hair just to come down and see me?
I call beautiful. Really?
I look over, I'm like, dang, she looks beautiful.
Oh. Okay. Did Joe get one?
No.
No. I don't know where to go. Maria and Peter are listening to a book on tape, and then the dryer is going and the washing machine, so no matter where I go, it seems like there's noise. Okay, so lunch is all done here, and oh, I still have on my my vest. This little vest I got for 10 cents at a garage sale, like probably 15 years ago. No, probably longer than that. Yeah, way longer than that. Warren's probably back in 1999. Okay, so like 21 years ago. For a dime. I love it. I've been wearing it ever since. Okay, so lunch is all done, and we were down in the marsh, and that was good. What I want to share with you guys now here is that I'm kind of getting back into the kitchen here a little bit, and I made a great big list of things that I want to get done here. I mean, if I could get it all done today, that would be fabulous. I don't think I'm going to. I know I'm not going to, but I'm going to try because I really want to get some things ready for the week. I didn't do a Sunday prep, so I just have a lot of things I want to do. I did pull out my mini venison roasts. Those are cut from back straps, and I'm waiting for those to thaw most of the way, and then I want to get those wrapped in bacon. I would like to put together a 7-layer salad. Now, the reason I put everything out like this was because I thought if for any reason I have any of my younger kids helping me in the kitchen or something, then it's just kind of all spelled out. And when you have little kids in the kitchen, sometimes it's easy to get distracted, so I like to have it all out. But I do need to basically shred up or chop up some lettuce for 7-layer salad. I want to chop up a red onion, dice a little bit of celery, cut up a cucumber, and then just fully assemble the salad here. Oh, I wanted to make some rolls. This is going to be a new recipe. I had a few people mention about dinner roll recipes, and I thought, let's give this one a try and see what we can say about it. I would like to pull out some ribs for tomorrow's supper and assemble the sauce that's going to go on those. And then I also would like to, I was thinking of putting together a vegetable salad for tomorrow, and it's one of those where you boil up the vinegar and the sugar and then you pour it over the vegetables. So I wouldn't mind, you know, maybe I'll get that done. I also want to cook up some chicken in the Instant Pot for a meal later this week, and then for the chicken stew, and then I'd like to chop up the veggies for the chicken stew and assemble turkey picante burritos in a small crock pot. This is a recipe I've never shown here. I've been making these for years and years. We really like, well, I mean, Warren and I really like these, and a couple of the kids do too, but I really, I want to do that for a supper one night. And then I'd like to make some peanut butter bars today, possibly pumpkin bars, possibly sour cream cranberry bars. And all right, so that is kind of everything that is on my list. We'll see. Like I always say, wish me luck. Oh, we forgot the peas.
Like the baby carrying on his back. I don't know about Cole liking that. He was just crying, so I don't know.
So speaking of old things, this backpack, look, there's little Colt in the backpack there. This backpack was actually my brother-in-law's, and I mean, when he was a newborn, or not newborn, but when he was a baby and could fit into this, and he just turned 36 this year. And we had it for all of our babies, and now look at that, a grandbaby in there. So just speaking of old stuff, yeah, hop on over to the community tab. I'll try to remember to put this in there. But what is like your best garage sale find, or the oldest thing that you have that you still actually actively use? That you're not just saving it for nostalgic purposes, but that you actually still use. I'd love to know. So now I need to wrap this tightly with saran wrap and get it into the refrigerator so that the mayo and that ranch dressing packet can kind of have time to sort of meld, and it kind of just starts to like seep down into the salad. The really nice thing about this salad is that you can use any vegetables you want. I think the original recipe really just called for onions, lettuce, peas, and cauliflower, but raw cauliflower isn't our favorite. So I just usually use whatever vegetables I have on hand that we like, layer it up with as much lettuce as I think we're going to want, because although this is tasty enough for leftovers tomorrow, if it goes beyond that, it will start to get almost a little too liquidy, and so we don't like that. So I really just wanted to make enough that, you know, we could have for supper and then for lunch tomorrow, and that will be plenty. Okay, let me get that in the fridge, and we're gonna keep on moving. Peter joined me in the kitchen. I had to turn off the camera and go and sit down and feed Colt because he wasn't having the backpack for too awful long. But Peter is making some cake mix cookies. Buddy, I think you're gonna have to add some more oatmeal to this. I would say maybe another ½ cup, and then just stir it in by hand, okay? It looks a little bit wet. Okay, so next up what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these Jordan rolls. They are a dinner roll recipe, or it is a dinner roll recipe. And it is from this cookbook here called Southern Plate by, where's her name? Where's her name? There we go. It's by Christy Jordan. And April, who is actually a very active part of a Country Life community here. She's always leaving comments, and she comes over to Instagram and sends me fun little memes and things over there too. But anyway, she really enjoys these cookbooks, or cookbooks that are by this Christy Jordan. And so she said she happened to see this someplace for a nice price, and so she picked it up and she sent it to me, which was very, very sweet of her. And I have been looking through this cookbook. It's one of those it's a kind of cookbook that you can read, in the sense that she always puts like a little, there's like a little story that kind of goes with each recipe. So the recipe I'm going to make is on page 16. I have not made these yet. This will be the first time, but it appears to be a very, very easy roll recipe. So let's get started. I'm going to put a ½ cup of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and 2 cups of flour and the yeast into this bowl. I am going to be pretty careful measuring my ingredients. When you're working with yeast, oftentimes it's very important to be very accurate. So I'm not going to just do the hand measuring this time. Okay, so 2 cups of flour, 1/2, 1, 1½, and 2. And then 2 packages of yeast. A package of yeast is about 2 1/4 teaspoons, so I'm going to put in 4 1/2 teaspoons of yeast. That's 1 1/2, that is 3, and that is 4 1/2. Perfect. Now I need to add in 2 eggs, but I do need to just kind of lightly fork the eggs before putting them in. Instead of dirtying another dish, because that just is not my style, I cleared away a little opening here, and I'm going to crack these eggs into the opening, and then just kind of whisk it in that opening to break up the yolks. Okay, and now I'll stir it in. There we go. I think that's pretty close to exact. So now I'm going to put in the remaining 3 cups of flour. I'm going to melt a stick of butter, and I'm going to get 1.5 cups of warm water all put in here. There's 1. Well, it definitely looks like the big lumpy blob like the recipe says, so I'm going to cover this with a dish towel. We're going to set it in a warm place, which is the kitchen, because we are baking cookies right now. We'll put it right next to the oven for 20 minutes. I want to put together the sauce that is going to be used on the barbecue pork ribs that I'm making tomorrow night. So I did put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there in my little kettle here, and then I have this very, very minced onion. It calls for a very finely diced small onion, so I'm going to put in, I think, about 3 tablespoons into my pot here, and then I'm going to start to just kind of saute that up until it gets translucent. But what I want to tell you is that this recipe actually comes from Mandy in the Making. I saw the recipe when she, like the first time she showed it on her channel, and I thought, oh, I'd like to try that method. As you know, oftentimes I will just buy the pre-cooked, pre-seasoned ribs. They are $7.99 from at Aldi, usually about $7.99. I have to buy a couple of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, depending on how many people are around here. And I really wanted to try just like fresh raw ribs again. And when I saw that recipe, I thought, I am going to earmark this and make it someday. And then I never did, and I never did, and I never did. And then when it turned up on, she did like our top 5 favorite meals that we've done in the last like 60 What's for Dinner videos or whatever. That turned up as her favorite recipe. And I thought, I've got to try this. And so I bought the ribs and I popped them in the freezer because I thought it just wasn't going to happen when I first bought them. So anyway, got those out, put those in the refrigerator. Those are thawing, and now I am making up the sauce. So I have the onion sauteing here. I have to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. And then I'm going to get a little bowl out and start putting together the barbecue sauce ingredients. So I need a 1/2 cup. I will link this recipe just so that you guys can go right over to her website or right over to her channel and watch her make them. But I need a 1/2 cup. That doesn't look like quite a 1/2 cup of ketchup. I need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of chili paste. I do believe she uses chili sauce. When I typed in a replacement for chili paste, when I typed that into Google, it said just your basic hot sauce would be a fine substitute. So I have some of this red hot wing sauce. So I'm going to put that in, and then a dash of salt and pepper. Okay, I just need to bring this all to a simmer over medium heat. It says medium high, but my gas stove is very hot, so I always have to keep it a little bit cooler. And then it needs to reduce down for 3 minutes. It smells fantastic. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wrap up my little venison roasts here, my mini venison roasts with bacon. I nearly always forget to season the mini roasts first, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of the steakhouse seasoning over top of these. Some of it might fall off as we grill, but still in the meantime it's going to it'll seep in a little bit and just kind of give it some good flavor. So this here is the barbecue sauce that I made. I'm just going to store that in the refrigerator until tomorrow when we need that. Okay, it's been just about 25 minutes, and so I just floured my surface here, put the dough on it. It said to flour the top, and then I'm supposed to knead it 3 to 4 times. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to just kind of shape it into about 3/4 inch thick. Got Peter back in the kitchen with me, doing his favorite thing, right? Yeah. That was a good look. I like that. It's a beautiful dough, I will say that. This would make a beautiful dough for sweet rolls.
Oh yeah.
It's so soft and supple. God, it's just beautiful. It does say to roll it out. I guess I just prefer to stretch it.
What are you making? That's how you make the rolls?
That's what it says. It says to...
It looks like you're making, when you had them like cut like that long, it looks like you're making cheese fries.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Okay, and with that, the rolls are in the pan, and I'm going to cover this with a dish towel, and it really is only supposed to rise for about 20 minutes, but I did promise the kids that we would walk back down in the marsh. Peter made those cookies, and he has them here. He wants to go and take those to the harvest crew, so that means these might rise a little longer. That's just life today. I really wanted these to be perfect here for supper. I guess I'm just going to hope that everything works out. And we're going to go for a walk. I am going to quick clean this up, and that's it. Then we're going for a walk.
They're so sour.
Are we going to eat one together? Here, just wait. All right, here we go. Whoa! Those are sour. How about you, Maria? Where are you?
They're so sour.
So after the whole first boom of fruit has already been loaded into the semi-trailers, then it gets time to have to do what they call the cleanup round. And you can see the cleanup round, the corral has corralled up all kinds of leaves and, you know, not a whole lot of berries, because, you know, the goal was to get as many in the first round. But there's always a few stragglers, so they do one extra clean or one more booming, and that is what they're doing right now. So they're just working at getting all of the, I think they're trying to get all the leaf trash. Is that what you guys are trying to do? Get all the leaf trash out from under there right now? Because they want to put that, yep, they kind of call that like the curtain or something. They want to put that down so that when they start tightening up this boom and they start bringing all of the berries and that leaf debris up, that it doesn't go back underneath the elevator, because it just makes bigger problems. So that's what is happening here today. What's the good word, Emily? You can get in the video, that's okay.
I don't know.
There's got to be some good word. I wondered what the good word for today was.
Almost done?
Almost done. That seems to be everybody's, that's unanimous today.
It's been kind of hot today.
Hot?
Yeah, too hot.
What's the perfect temp?
About 50.
Okay. Right now he's just trying to get all the cranberries that kind of get jammed into the grass. So they just go along, raking, getting them all out so that they can bring that boom that's right over there. They're gonna like bring it all along this edge here and tighten it right up.
We strive to get every berry.
What are you sticking your tongue out for?
I want to have hair on our skates. Green skates.
Okay, so the evening has come to an end here, or I should say the day has come to an end. Good, bad, indifferent?
It's a good day.
It was a good day.
They had us challenges.
Yeah, they do. But this is what supper is looking like. So we have the mini roast, and there is the, what do we call this? 7-layer salad. And this is what the rolls, yes, Joe, we've seen your lunch or your supper. This is what the rolls are looking like. They're very, like, moist. They almost don't seem quite like a yeast roll, but very, very flavorful. We are really enjoying the flavor, that's for sure.